Knicks with a comeback win in Game 3 against the Indiana Pacers. Down 20 points on the road. And they come back and find a way to win this game, man. This was a hell of a game tonight. And before we get into my instant reaction, my thoughts, and my takes on how the game went and what I thought was going on, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that comment section below. Knicks fans, I need to see y'all in the comment section. Pacers fans, let me know how y'all feeling after this game. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. We on the road to 400 subs, man. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. Without further ado, let's go and get into it. Man, listen. This was a hell of a game, I ain't lying. Like, bro, first half, it was looking like the Pacers was finna go and run these dudes at the gym. That's how I was looking in the first half. I was getting ready to come on the podcast, get to talk about Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson, this, that, and third. But I can leave all that in the back pocket. I'm going to leave all that in the back pocket because they end up finding a way with Jalen Brunson, with him being the head of the snake, with him being in foul trouble, him going to the bench. And what I went, bro, it's crazy, man. And this is what playoff basketball are, bro. It's like, I ain't lying. Y'all tell me if I'm lying or not. The Eastern Conference Finals versus the Western Conference Finals, it's been two totally different ball games that each conference is playing right now. In the Eastern Conference, they giving us everything that you can ask for when it comes to Eastern Conference matchup in high-level basketball, high-pressure situations, you know, shot-making, execution, comebacks, physicality, defensive, you know, just everything when it comes to high-level basketball, good basketball, man. That's what you want to see in a playoff setting with a trip to with a trip on the line to go to the NBA Finals, man. You know, this is gonna be both of these franchises' first time in decades going to NBA Finals. And man, look, they leaving it all on the line. But I'm gonna start with the Knicks because the Knicks they were down in this ball game. And I said this after game 2 that I said they was in trouble, but I said they got a little bit. If I'm the Knicks players, they got a little bit of confidence instilled in the back of their mind because look, we have seen what we just did to the Celtics on the road, down 20 in both games in game 1 and game 2 against the defending champs, and we were down 20, and we ended up walking them down on the road in the TD Garden. I think they only lost 2 games on the road with this whole postseason. So it seemed like they better on the road than they is in the postseason. So I guess they can use that to their advantage. And tonight, man, listen, on the road, once again, this is like a reminiscent of that Boston Celtics series. Down 20, on the road, against a high octane offense in Indiana Pacers. A very well-oiled machine on that side, man. And they end up finding a way to get back into this ball, claw their way into the ball game. And man, that's just a good sight to see. Cause like I said, Jalen Brunson, head of the snake, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well. He was in foul trouble. Let me see what Jalen Brunson finished with tonight. Cause obviously, like I said, he their closer. But Jalen Brunson, he only gave him 23 points, shot 33% from the field. But he hit big time shots, and you know he scored when he needed to. Got timely buckets for the New York Knicks. But man, this is about Karl Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter. But before I get into Karl Anthony Towns, I need to give a huge shout out to Tom Thibodeau for making the proper adjustment with putting Landry Shamet in. He gave him energy and effort that's not gonna show up in the stat sheet. You know, with his type of defensive effort and his defensive intensity that he brought on that side of the ball. We're gonna talk about Isaac McBride knocking down big time shots, coming in for Jalen Brunson when he was in foul trouble. Doing things like that, doing the little things. His presence on the defense and on the offensive side of the ball can't go in the look. Even DeLon Wright, big short ass. I ain't even, bro. When that nigga checked into the game, I'm like, man, Teals, come on, bro. Ain't no way you serious, big brother. Like, you got this man in the game with your basically your season on the line. You on the road. You put this nigga with these big ass shorts in. I swear to God, I ain't even know his name until Reggie Miller and Van Gundy had said that man's name. I'm like, man, that's DeLon Wright. Man, when this nigga get dreads. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, but he came in and gave them good contributions, even though he ain't scored nothing like that, but just his presence and him being out there and playing within the flow of the game, not forcing anything, not trying to, shot hunt or anything like that, just playing good defense, rebounding the ball and just playing within the offense, playing within the team. And, that group right there, they led the way. They led the charge. Because I'm scratching my head. I'm like, man, you got DeLon Wright, Shamit, Isaac McBride, Josh Hart, and I forgot who was the fifth because Cat won in the game at the time because he was on the bench. I want to say it was Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson, all in the game in that 5, and they was the ones that ended up getting the New York Knicks back, clawing their way into this ball game. They had a good third quarter. They had a good end of the third quarter, which they kept rolling to the fourth. Because once Karl-Anthony Towns got inserted himself back into the game in the fourth quarter, man, he was easy money. Anybody that was trying to get on him, they can get that work. Miles Turner, you want some? Come get it. Pascal, you think you can do something with me? All right, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. It didn't matter who they put on. I don't even know the other light skinned dude that played for the Pacers. He was fooled. Why is he holding Cat anyway? Man, Cat, he showed up big. It was a monumental game for Karl-Anthony Towns. You know, him scoring 12 points in the fourth quarter, hitting big time threes. Man, I'm like, man, who Cat feeling like? Especially it was at 1-3. This nigga had 2 defenders draped all over me. He had a motherfucker. What we doing there? That Chris Paul, man, for real, son. Like, man, he hit a dribble, fake like he was finna drive, hit a step back 3, fell down to the floor, man, he drained it. I'm like, yeah, Corey, who you feeling like, man? But good shit though, good shit. Cause they needed every single one of those buckets going down the stretch. If Karl-Anthony Towns was the best player for the New York Knicks tonight, and even though he was in foul trouble as well too, he had 5 fouls tonight. And, you know, he really didn't have it going the first 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter, he answered the bell. And that's just good resiliency from the New York Knicks, because they've been showing it throughout the whole playoffs, especially last series. We know what they did with guys not shooting well, particularly in these first 3 quarters or the first half. And we can see it turn around quick. We're seeing Mikal Bridges, jumpstart the New York Knicks in that Boston series, scoring 14 points in the fourth quarter. Now we seeing Karl-Anthony Towns and what he did tonight in this game, man. It was good. It was good. There was a good back and forth heavyweight fight right here. Now it's gonna be a dog fight the rest of the way, the rest of this series. And I told you I need 7 games of this. It's not the fact that I want this team to win or I want this team to win. It's just the simple fact that we's getting the best basketball that you can think of, bro. I'm telling you, if you're a fan of defense, if any philosophy that you can think of that you stand on, you believe, guards getting 2 feet in the paint, collapsing the defense, making the defense work, making the defense rotate and shift, high level shot making, good guard play, rim protection, defensive physicality, anything that you can think of, man. Like this is like the epitome of it. I ain't lying, like. But New York Knicks, they stayed with it. Josh Hart, he came alive going down within the stretch. Going down the stretch, he came alive and things like that. What I was saying, I just thought somebody had called me, so y'all forgive me. I had lost my train of thought, but yeah, going down the stretch, the New York Knicks, they ended up pulling this away. Karl-Anthony Towns, he had a big fourth quarter. He led the charge and he was the head of the snake. That was good shit, man. It was just a good all around effort, and that's just what you want to see from the New York Knicks if you're a Knicks fan. You want to see resiliency. You want to see our team have a fight coming into this game, even with Jalen Brunson not shooting the ball particularly well. We still finding ways to win and gut out a huge victory that we needed on the road, in a hostile environment. It's not easy to win on the Pacers home floor with them type of fans. With that type of energy, they come in, they got a 2-0 lead, they feeling good about themselves, and when you got punched in the mouth, you took their punch, then you start throwing punches back. It's some, like Rocky said, it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you get hit, and get back up and things like that. So I love what I've seen from the New York Knicks, just from top to bottom, just staying consistent, staying with it, not shying away from their game plan and things like that. And I love that going down the stretch, they didn't move away from the high hand. They went out there forcing shots. You seen the role players, they was feeding Cat. Like I said, whoever was on them, they was food. They were dog food. They couldn't do nothing with Cat. He was doing it from the perimeter, doing it from the post, doing it from the 3-point line. Then he was ultimately getting to the foul line. And Cat, huge shout out to you. You get a lot of flank and things like that. But this playoff run, man, you have shut a lot of people up. with your performances throughout these playoffs, man, you being, arguably a 1A, 1B type of guy for the New York Knicks, being a good second option, giving them, double-digit rebounds, giving them 20-plus points, and nights that they needed the most, coming up clutch and things like that. Man, your play is not going under the radar when it comes to me because I'm watching you. I see you. I see what you're doing out there. Now, for the Indiana Pacers, to me, I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed like the first and second half were two different games for the Indiana Pacers. They started playing with a little bit slower pace. One is much offensive movement. But we got to give credit to the New York Knicks for picking up their defensive intensity. Make sure they cherish the rock when they on the offense side of the ball. Make sure they get a good shot up every time down the floor. And we weren't seeing that for the Pacers. I think they started getting a little bit careless. They had a couple offensive charges. I ain't really gonna just say, I think a lot of this had to do with the New York Knicks because, like I said, with Shamet and McBride and that group right there, what they brought defensively, not gonna show up in the stat sheet, but they presence would definitely fit on that court tonight because I think what turned it around, Shamet had that the charging call on Obi Toppin. Then right after that, Benedict Mather get a move and screen, and I think that's they gained momentum, and they scored on both of those turnovers. Would cut the lead down to 6 or 8 points right there. And Carrington Town, he inserted himself into the game, and hey, it was up. It was smooth sailing from there. Knicks couldn't do no wrong. I think Carrington Town kind of forced a couple shots, but shit, when you got it going like that, when you the main part of the offense, because Jalen Brunson ain't checked back into the game about 3 minutes, so. Yeah, man. I fuck with it. So, Cat, you did your shit, but let's look at this box score for the Indiana Pacers. When you look at it, you get 20 points from Tyrese Halliburton, 19 from Al Turner, 17 from Pascal. You get 12 from McConnell. McConnell been cooking them dudes. Hey, I don't know what it is. McConnell, this nigga game is, I ain't gonna say his ass, but man, his game ass. And he be out there steamrolling them dudes. Man, if y'all don't guard that, man, real talk. Man, if I would tell coach, I'd call the timeout so fast and this nigga get to cooking us and shit. All he doing is just going hard right. If you cut that man off, he gonna dribble around the baseline and shoot that weak ass turnaround pull up. Man, if y'all don't stop that, then it be Mikal. Mikal is out there getting cooked. Man, I understand that Tyrese Halliburton because we know what he is. Arguably a top 5, top 6 point guard in the NBA. But TJ McConnell, man, be for real, dog. Let's be for real. Like, there's no reason you should be out there getting cooked. And you supposed to be one of the best defenders in the NBA and things like that. What you having that rep? No, I'm not going for it. Not going for it. But, I don't know. The second half of this ball game, they got to look at film. And I really got to look at film because, like I said, I really feel like, the Pacers, even though they offensive activity, wasn't the same how it was in the first half. Because obviously, it was an avalanche. You making shots and things like that. But that's what you expect when the team is at home. They playing with house money and things like that. And they went on their run. Basketball is a game of runs. And New York Knicks, they just withstand the punch and they stayed consistent. And they stayed even killed throughout the whole game. They didn't get too high, they didn't get too low. They stayed at an even kill, even base. And I think that's what prevailed them to win. Cause I really just don't want to just talk about the Knicks this whole video, but I really just feel like you really want more of what the Pacers didn't do or what they did do. I really feel like it's what the Knicks did, because it was on them to be able to get stops. It was on them to be able to turn them over. It was on them to force them into tough shots. It was on them to execute on the offensive end off those turnovers, off those foul calls and things like that. It was on them to capitalize off that, and that's what they did. Cause like I said, if it wasn't for Cat tonight in that fourth quarter, man, Lord knows where the New York needs to be. We'll be looking at an 0-3 series right now, but that man had it going. And when he playing like that, New York Knicks gonna be hard to beat. Cause you look at it, you get New York Knicks. You had it down. It got to 13. You were down 20. Got it down to 13 at halftime. And this with Jalen Brunson not playing well, so you really feel like your confidence still high. I mean, y'all feel like, man, we right there. We at arm's reach. Our best player is not playing at his best. Carrington Town wasn't playing his best. Really nobody for the Knicks was really playing well. When you look at it, because you get 24 from Cat, 16 from OG, Shout out to OG, 15 from McHale. Shout out to McHale, 23 from Bronson. You get 10 rebounds, 8 points from Josh Hart. McBride give you 9 off the bench. Shammy give you a 3. You know, DeLon Wright, big short side, give you 2 points. But what they brought on defensive end, you know, would spark this team into ultimately getting back into this game. You know, giving them energy, much needed, providing energy. You know, in the shot in the arm. You know, because sometimes when it comes to playoffs, like when you're facing a team like this and you're going through a grinded out series, you know, you win 6 games with the Detroit Pistons. You went, you know, 5-6 games with the, you know, defending champs in the Boston Celtics. You come against this high-octane, fast-paced offense, and, you know, you guys probably, you know, burnt. Now, I ain't going to say burnt out, but, you know, the legs a little bit heavy. You know, bring some fresh guys in to be able to change, you know, the outlook and outview of this game. And Tom Thibodeau, he made the correct changes. You know, going with guys like this. I don't agree with him starting Josh Hart. I mean, not starting Josh Hart tonight, but like I said, I'm going to keep that in my back pocket just in case he do some fluky ass shit in game 4 in the rest of this series. Because you never know with that nigga. But, you know, this was a good win from the New York Knicks, man. So, hey, Knicks fans, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feeling at the game 3. Pacers fans, y'all let me know how y'all feeling at the game 3. Hell of a game tonight. Back and forth. And like I said, bro, I need 7 games to this. 7 games. And I know Pacers fans or anybody else don't get on my comments. I might say a lot of Knicks talk. Because, like, when you look at it, bro, like, if you watch the game, what can you say that the Pacers really need to improve on? I think they shot efficiently from the field. Cause look, they shot 44% from the field, which, you know, you'll live with that. They shot 20% from the 3-point line, which, you know, you obviously you want to get better at that. But the thing is, you know, they were shooting poorly in the first half with their shank 3-point shooting. They was up 20. You know, obviously, you know, you want to get to the paint a little bit more. You want to get to the foul line. You know, they left a lot of points at the foul line. They lost this game by 6 points. What they missed, they lost this game by 6 points, and they missed 6 free throws. Now, not saying that they would have made free throws tonight, they would have won this game because it would have been overtime. But how we don't know how it would have won if it went into overtime. Pacers had 12 turnovers. Knicks had 14 turnovers. So, you know, they won a turnover battle. They lost the free throw battle. Because the Knicks was 90%, 27-30. The Pacers was 82%, 27-33. 38 rebounds for the Pacers, 37 rebounds for the Knicks. So they won the turnover battle, they won the rebounding battle. So all I say is really more so what the Knicks did. You know, when you look at it outside of, you know, them obviously shooting poorly from the 3-point line, 5 of 20, you know, and losing this game shooting 20% from the 3-point line. But like I said, you was up 20 and the outside shot wasn't working. So what can you really say? You know, that's just how I feel. You know, because like I said, as much as people we want to, you know, don't want to give teams credit for clawing themselves back to the ball games and things like that, you know, I give credit what credit is due. The New York Knicks, it was their game to lose and the Pacers' game to win, and they came out there and they took this game. You know, they down 20. You know, your best player not playing well. They found guys to be able to contribute at the right moments and get timely shots and get timely baskets to be able to put pressure on the Pacers. And ultimately, when it came down to it, when it was neck and neck, you know, it came a grown man basketball. You know, we're not finna call fouls. Physicality is ramped up to 100. You know, emotions high. And the intensity is in the arena right now. It's a neck and neck ball game. It can go either way. A possession ball game. Hey, who wanted more? And I just felt like the New York Knicks, they wanted it more. On the defensive side, they was getting blocks. Even with the Pacers, they was out there hooping too. So I just think going down the stretch, you know, ultimately Carlton Towns was the X factor with him getting his 3-point shot going, him getting his offensive game going, with helping them lead the charge. Landry Shamet, DeLon Wright, McBride, you know, they can't go on the radar because McBride makes some tough shots too to help them cut into that lead as well. You know, giving them big minutes while Brunson was on the bench with foul trouble. So, me, I really feel like this game 3 was all about the Knicks. You know, first half was all about the Pacers. Second half was all about the New York Knicks. And that's just how this game went. You know, And that's just how I feel. But that's just my instant reaction and my thoughts and my opinions. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all feel any way different. And if y'all feel some way different, y'all let me know what y'all think the Pacers could have done, you know, to ultimately, you know, hold off the 20-point lead, the 13-point lead coming at halftime, you know, or expand on it and win this ball game. Because, like, if you win a turnover battle, you didn't turn the ball over more than the New York Knicks. You didn't get out rebounded by the New York Knicks. And if you missed 6 free throws, but you lost the game by 6, you know, what can you really say that the Pacers could have did better? I really feel like the Pacers played a hell of a game tonight. It's just the New York Knicks. They made plays when they needed to. They got stops when they needed to. And that was the ball game, you know, in Karl Anthony Towns. The best player on the floor tonight. So that's all I got for this video, man. Tuesday night is game 4. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all got in game 4. Y'all got the Knicks tying this series up, or y'all got a Pacers bouncing back after this loss right here. And y'all hit that comment section. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we on the road to 400 subs, so make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. And I'm gonna see y'all at the game 4.